Welcome to Living in Grand Rapids, the podcast. I am Josh May.
I'm Katie Arnold.
I'm Ross Bacon.
I'm Scott Bradford.
Hey, Scott.
Hi.
Four of the Meijer Group Realtors with Remax of Grand Rapids, welcoming in another special guest. Well, he's been on the last couple episodes, and he might be
a
future staple. What do you think, Scott? Do we have your commitment from here on out every episode?
Every episode.
I would love to hang out with you guys. This is fun.
All right. Well, you know what? A lot of us have been in Grand Rapids for a long time, and we've seen and we know these names. And this is an exciting topic to just kind of outline some big employers in Grand Rapids and the West Michigan area. You know, a lot of people that listen to this are maybe relocating from Chicago or thinking about relocating and getting more information. And a lot of these corporations are household names on a national level. So we want to dig a little bit deep and let the viewers know these companies are from Grand Rapids. What do you guys think? Who's rocking and rolling today? Who's ready to kick it off?
Well, I'll kick it off. Yes, I'm going to take this opportunity because I want to shout out. We had a listener who reached out to us on Instagram who is considering relocating to Grand Rapids, and she was asking about some employers. So that really sparked us having this episode a little bit sooner. And so I want to just start by talking about Meijer. Meijer is a big name grocery store in the Midwest. It is not just in Michigan, but their headquarters are based in Michigan. So for people who are, in that industry or, looking for a job, Meijer is a great place to look. They have so many employment opportunities that would be there for people.
And let's wait before we get a little deeper into Meijer. Let's clarify for the out of towners. It is Meijer. It's not Meijers.
That's correct.
A lot of people from out of state who don't understand what it is, they pronounce it Meijers. It is Meijer.
I see that all the time.
Yeah.
Their headquarters are there. So it's a great opportunity for people looking for jobs, whether it be that, they're looking for a new job and to relocate to a new place, or if they have a spouse who got a new job and is having to move to Grand Rapids for their job. And so then now they need to find a new one. Meijer's a great place to look.
It is. And Grand Rapids, as I've always said, is a big little city. So, I mean, it's not that big of a city. It's a very tight community. And, looking at all the industry that we do have here, it's pretty safe to assume amongst the four of us, we know at least somebody who works at every one of these places.
Yeah. No, this is an interesting topic because I can think about all the people that have relocated to Grand Rapids, my clients that actually now work at Meijer. There's a decent amount of them, because you've got to think Meijer is so big now. You've got their corporate headquarters over on Walker Avenue here in Grand Rapids. The major corporations, you've got the marketing team, you've got the buying team, you name it. There is a lot of employees at Meijer here in Grand Rapids. Ross, you want to roll with somebody else here? What's on your mind?
I want to go with Steelcase because Steelcase has just been popping up a lot on my radar personally lately, just with clients, friends. I've had a few clients just this year alone relocate here to begin their work at Steelcase. And I had a very good friend of mine. He's been with them for a few years, just recently left Steelcase for another position. Great company to work for. For those of you that aren't familiar with what Steelcase does, it's furniture, office furniture. They make really fantastic office furniture. So, if you've been in an office setting, pretty much you've seen Steelcase's work there before. They have a really great work environment too. Their campus is really nice from what I hear. I personally haven't been inside there. But I hear that they treat their employees really well and offer a lot of amenities right on campus there for their employees to work with. So, all different types of positions probably available and that they offer. So it's always something to keep on your radar if you're looking for a new position.
Steelcase, long time staple here in Grand Rapids, 1912. Came to GR. So Scott, what's on your mind? Who can you think of as far as a major employer in Grand Rapids, West Michigan?
Well, there's Bissell Incorporated or Bissell Home Care. Have you guys heard of them? They're in
How do we know Bissell? Why is that name so familiar? Everybody knows that Bissell vacuums nationwide, worldwide, right?
Yeah.
You have a dog, Scott. You don't own a Bissell pet care vacuum?
I absolutely do. Obviously, our manufacturing industry with 2,500 employees. So that's pretty fascinating, right?
A great organization that people locally have come to love because they're also very involved in the community.
Mhm.
And I don't know what it is about the Walker Avenue area on the northwest side, but Bissell is very close to Meijer as far as the corporate headquarters
Basically
go.
next door.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Right next door. But another reason why we love Bissell is they are 100% advocate of all the local animals in town. They are well known in Grand Rapids and have some amazing events that support the Bissell Pet Foundation. So we have
that
so
is
many
true.
animal lovers. In fact, everybody on our team is an animal lover now. And so that's the cool thing about, you think of such a name like that, you think of Bissell Vacuums, but we love how great they are in the community. So
Absolutely.
next, I'm going to move into one of the more famous employers in West Michigan. And the story here, I always find very fascinating because I'm talking about Amway. Now, Amway was basically started by two gentlemen in a garage or in a basement. It just was started from scratch. Two gentlemen, Jay Van Andel and Richard DeVos, came together and said, "We're going to do this," and now have created an American multi-level marketing company that sells health, beauty, home care products. The company was founded in 1959 by these two gentlemen, and their headquarters are based in Ada. If anybody that's ever driven through Ada, obviously you know exactly where Amway is. And it is, again, another organization that employs thousands and thousands of employees all over the world, but is headquartered here in Grand Rapids. The other cool thing about Amway is, again, they are some of the largest philanthropists in Grand Rapids. And you've got the Van Andel Arena downtown that is named after Jay Van Andel. They have supported the community greatly over the past decades and now have moved into Ada and have been a big part of the redevelopment of that community. So Amway is another massive employer in West Michigan. Let's just run through a couple more. Who's got another one they want to throw on the list?
Well, I can throw out, Founders is another one. So if people have ever had like Founders beer before, that is based in Grand Rapids. I think that company has grown quite a bit over the last several years. We talk about the fact that we all probably know someone who works at least one of those places. I used to work with someone who is now on the marketing team at Founders and seems to love his job. So it seems to be a great fit there too. So Founders is a place if you're into beer.
They've got another great story. That organization has really taken off over the past 10 years specifically. So Founders is a great place, great employer here in West Michigan. Now, Spectrum Health. Let's move to healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Just healthcare in general.
Healthcare in general.
Yeah.
Healthcare in general is huge. And we can't limit this just to Spectrum, right? Because my wife specifically does work for St. Mary's Mercy Health downtown. You've got Metro Health and you've got Spectrum. So as far as the medical field goes, how many nurses and doctors and healthcare providers do we all know that work at these places? There's a ton of them, right?
Well, and I think the last several years, we've helped a lot of doctors who have relocated here for new jobs working in healthcare in the West Michigan area. I feel like I can think of several off the top of my head just in the last 2 years alone who have relocated to Grand Rapids. So there's a lot of healthcare options here.
We do see a lot of movement in that healthcare field. A lot of people are getting recruited to come work in Grand Rapids. And Katie, you've nailed that. We are definitely experts at helping people relocate as far as, well, all fields, but we've got a great track record with physicians, nurses, healthcare providers. Ross, you want to close it down with one more?
Yeah, it's a big one. Wolverine. I think a lot of people aren't familiar with Wolverine, based up in Rockford, just a little north of Grand Rapids area, but a huge facility up there. Also employed thousands of people, and I know quite a few people that have worked for there. But what they don't know is that Wolverine offers, controls a lot of main brands that we use. If you're into outdoors, hiking, anything to do really with outdoors, you've pretty much have owned a pair of Merrell shoes. They own Hush Puppies, Sperry's, They have a whole line of different types of shoes and clothing that they do offer out of there. So I've heard great things about the culture up there and working for the company as well. So just it's another great option to consider too. I think that some of the positions offered at Wolverine, I think you'd find at the same places such as Meijer, Steelcase, and Amway.
Well, we've talked about some big employers in Grand Rapids today. So if any of our listeners are thinking about relocating to Grand Rapids, we'd love the opportunity to help. After you've studied the list of large employers in Grand Rapids, we will let you get back to living in Grand Rapids now or in the future, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Living in Grand Rapids, the podcast. Please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast and share with your friends. You can find us on Instagram at MayGroupGR or online at marketgrandrapids.com.